So I'm recording. All right, everyone. So we're going to be going over the rules, and this is the stuff that you need to take really seriously and you need to understand. Go back and read this again on the school's website, all right? But I'm going to go over it now. Applications, okay. Your application is due next week. So that's Thursday, the 25th. And it's mandatory. Everything must be done. So you must click that submit by the end of Thursday. You have to bring me your posters due for approval by Friday, March 26th. That is only the people that are, that's only the people that are running for election, meaning you're not going to be appointed by me. If you're being appointed by me, then you do not need to do a poster. It's just for the people running for office. If for some reason I am not there on Friday the 26th, which is very possible, then what you need to do is just go ahead and leave it in the office. They will make sure that I get it. Like I said, anyone applying for treasurer, Senate chief, chief of staff, or VP of fundraising does not campaign. They will be interviewed on Zoom. An email with information will be sent. So I will email you. That's why it's really important that your email is super correct. I say that in a weird way because you often type too fast. Make sure your email is correct. So if you're applying for office, then you're going to be, if you're applying for an office position like treasurer, Senate chief, chief of staff, or VP of fundraising, I will send you the date with the information you need to know about your interview. Campaigning will start on Friday the 26th through Wednesday the 3rd. No campaign materials can be posted or displayed, meaning your poster that we will display for you or displayed online before this date. So do not start campaigning online until Friday, February 26th. If that for you means midnight on the 26th, meaning the first second of the 26th, then that's what it is, but not a second before. Ballot update, that's on Friday, February 26th. Everyone must check your email for the ballot, meaning I will be emailing everyone that's applied what the ballot's going to look like, including the people applying for appointed positions. And you must check that email in order to make sure that you're on it. So not only that you're on it to be a part of it, but also that you're on it and that your name is spelled correctly and that everything's correct. So make sure you do that. And then posters at the end of elections will come down on Thursday, March 4th. So if you want your poster as to keep it as a memento, the next day, Friday, come to my office and pick up your poster. But if not, we're throwing it away. Election day will happen on Thursday, March 4th. During lunches only. It will be an emailed election, meaning we will email everyone in Palmetto's Dade School's email with the link for the election. All right. There will be information that they're going to have to enter their ID number so that we can verify the election votes, but that's the way that we can vote. That's the only way that we can make voting possible. It worked out for the freshman election and we're going to go ahead and do it again. All right. So we had glitches last year that we were able to address, but at this time, it's the only possible way that we can do elections because we have over 60% of the campus off campus. Okay. There will be no campaigning whatsoever on this day. So that's why the last day to campaign is Wednesday, March 3rd. Students will log into their Dade School's email that day to get the link to vote, and it'll only be voting during lunches. All right, so here's just the basic rules. One poster only per candidate, no flyers at all. Once approved, we will put up your poster in front of the activities office. And this year, tags, stickers, and giveaways will not be allowed. All right. So we're not going to be allowing anyone to give anything away on campus. So I don't want to see any stickers. I don't want to see any buttons or anything like that. And it's just not fair to people that are MSO and are at home and cannot be doing things like that. We found, we found that that we had problems with that during the freshman election, that it created an equity issue. So we want to make sure that everyone is on the same playing field. So this year, You're going to have to get creative, and you're going to have to focus on social media campaigning. And we're going to help you. Here's the first way we're going to help you. This year, each candidate may submit, and this is, remember, this is only candidates running for election. If you're appointed, you do not do this. Each candidate may submit one post for Instagram to be posted by @MPSH activities. The post should encourage everyone to vote for you. Only one post. So that you're going to create an image for us to put on Instagram. Make sure that you know the Instagram sizing. We don't want it to be like sized awkwardly that we can't get it to fit on Instagram. Also, we will not post a caption for you. The caption will just say, vote student council elections. So the post needs to have your name, what you're running for, what your information is, why they should vote for you, whatever your slogan is, if you have a slogan. So this year, it's all about being creative and all about that. So you're going to have to figure out a way to get that onto that post. Remember, we're also going to be posting your 150 to 200 word why people should vote for you, that we will also post online. So make sure that you do your best to make those seen, because we're going to post that on MPSH activities so that everyone can see it when they're surfing through social media, especially people that you might not know. You need to use your friends to help post for you. Tell them to post your vote for me slogans and things like that, so that you're reaching other people that may not know you, and that sort of thing. So you're going to have to really work at it this year, because you're not going to be able to be in person, and we're not going to be able to have our annual Meet the Candidates event where everyone goes out into the courtyard and gathers. Actually, that was one of the last things we did right before COVID. And it's terrifying to look back on it, because it was such a huge crowd of people, just mass crowd in the courtyard. And knowing that 2 days later we went on quarantine for COVID, it's kind of scary to look at that. So obviously it's not something we can do this year. So you guys have to really work at it online. Candidates are not allowed to miss class to campaign, even with your teacher gives you permission. So you cannot be walking around. Do not ask teachers to write election notes on their board. So like things like vote for Lizzie, no, none of that. And don't ask them to put it on their digital platforms either. They are supposed to remain completely unbiased. And then of course, no political rallies this year. And then this year, there is a limit to campaign expenditures. And I put this, even though you guys are going to be spending money on things like Meet the Candidates and stickers. But if you're buying, for example, a geo filter or something like that, there still is the limit, $30 for those of you running for class office and $50 for those of you running for student council. So if you're going to be using it to like do a push online or whatever it is you decide, there still is that expenditure. Remember, you cannot campaign on campus on election day, and you cannot campaign digitally either. That can be a reason to be removed from the campaign. So do not do any campaigning on the day of the election. Candidates cannot remove or damage other candidates' property. That includes any sort of bashing on the internet. And that means your friends. So you guys need to keep your friends in check, because if I get a screenshot of inappropriate comments on someone's post online, and it gets back to me that that's someone else's friend doing it on behalf of another candidate, I will remove you from the election. Candidate with the leading number of votes will be declared the winner. Social media campaigning is done, like I said, I've always said, at your own risk, but it's the only way to do it this year. All social media posts must be made public, meaning I must be able to see it even if I am not your friend. And you must use the hashtag VoteStudCo2021. Posts must be public again. Inappropriate violations on any social media platforms will lead to removal from the election. And if you're removed from the elections, any votes you received will be invalidated. If anyone wishes to file an official complaint with me. It must be done by the end of the school day, the official school day on March 4th, meaning you have to email me in writing by March 4th. The email will be shared with the administration. Candidates will find out the results on Friday, March 5th via email. So I will email everyone the results, and the results will be announced to the general public on March 8th. If you have any problems with these rules, you can come see me, you can Zoom with me or whatever. And if there are any issues, I cannot take back the election results. The election results are official once they are official, unless there's some crazy issue. All right. So other than that, that's the basic things you need to understand. Everything below you can read on your own. But remember that this is an election. It is not a life-altering decision that's being made. If the election does not go your way, there are always ways to get involved. And I want to remind everyone that I will be choosing Senate at the end of the year this year. The application will be made public before I go on maternity leave. You have until the end of May to do the Senate application, and we will interview senators in the summer. Okay. Are there any pressing issues or questions for anyone for the good of the group? I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. If you have a question, you could just speak.
Hey, Ms. Valero, how will we send the voters? Like, is it going to be a Google Doc that specific day, and you're just going to send out to different teachers, or how is everyone going to vote?
How is everyone going to vote? Okay, so one of the things that you guys are going to do is we are going to give you a post to put on your social media that tells everyone the instructions for how to vote. So you're going to get an Instagram post that you guys can share with your people. And then also we will be emailing it to everyone, and the teachers will also be given the instructions as well. We will also most likely be doing a call home to everyone on instructions on how to vote. So everyone needs to have access to their Dade School's email. That's number one priority, is that everyone has to have access to their Dade School's email to be able to check that email and get the link to go and vote. And the polls will only be open for the 30 minutes of each lunch. So they'll be open for 30 minutes, closed for 10, open for 30 minutes, closed for 10, open for 30 minutes, closed completely.
So does HIP count as a student, like the club or anything? It's like the same thing?
HIP technically does not count as a student-run organization because it's a different situation than the other clubs. Anything else?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
The forum says that we should meet with the outgoing member.
Oh my God, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Matthew. I forgot
So when
about
should
that.
we be meeting with them?
Okay, so if you are going to be, this is only for senior officers on student council officer positions. So if you're running for junior class office or a sophomore class office, you do not have to do this. Oh, I'm sorry. If you are running for a student council officer position or a senior class officer position, you must meet briefly with the outgoing officer, meaning you have to get in touch with them and you need to meet with them before the elections begin. So if I were you, I'd get on that in the next couple of days. Just have them, and this isn't meet in person. I don't want you meeting in person. Get on a Zoom call or get on a FaceTime or call them even. You can even call them and have a meeting where you discuss all the roles that they took in their office, all right? So make sure. Now, if you're just reapplying for your position, you obviously don't have to do that. You're not gonna meet with yourself. So obviously you would just put, I'm reapplying for my same position. But anyone running for any of those senior or student council office positions, you must meet with everyone. So President of Student Council, David Spiegelman. Vice President of Student Council is Sam Zelaya. Secretary of Student Council is Sam Berlan, and then you have the 2 treasurer positions, which you would meet with Nicole Marcus because she's the outgoing person. Chief of Staff, you have Catherine Bales and Jade Pita. Chief of Senate, you have Peyton Mendelbaum and Kyla Finkel. And then for the senior class officers, you have Andres Levetman for the president. Vice president, you have Alexis Lopez. Secretary, you have Riley Andara. And then your 2 treasurers for the senior class are Robbie Mazer and hold on, I'm blanking. I was doing so good. And then the pregnancy break got me. Robbie Mazer and Mackenzie Hoffman. So make sure that you meet with these outgoing people and get that taken care of, because that does go in your application. It's on the last page.
Last question. If
Yes.
you're in the board for another club, can you run for like the Senate? Chief Senate?
Yes, you can apply for Senate. Anyone can be in Senate. Just so that you guys know, it's mainly the positions that are a problem are your president of student council cannot hold another office. And then after that, it depends on what office you're applying for. And you can't hold the same office in multiple clubs, but anyone can be a senator, even if you hold office in other clubs. All right. Yes,
Jade Pita is the outgoing chief of staff. Should they meet with her and not me?
you don't need to meet with yourself or Jade. And then other than that, yeah, I forgot, sorry, Catherine, that you're also replacing yourself if you apply for that. So if you are good with all that information, we're going to start our official student council meeting now. You do not have to stay for it. You can go ahead and sign off. But everyone else, if you're on student council, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. I'm going to stop the recording, and everyone else